right, Winston, we're filming an intro. Say something. Do something cool. We're doing the intro, bud. Hey guys, welcome to the Bayside Fabrication YouTube channel. On today's video, we're going to move to the front of the car and start tubing that, and we'll start to come up with an idea of how we're going to get that front to look proper. It's going to be kind of a short video, and then in a couple days I have another video coming out which will have we'll go over a collection of parts and things that I'm going to be putting on the car, lighting solutions and things like that, and we'll get a real good idea of how this car is going to come together. So keep an eye out for that in a couple more days, but until then I hope you enjoy this video, and as always, if there's any questions or comments or suggestions or anything, please feel free to drop them in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys may have on the project. So thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Weenie, tell them to enjoy the video. Not so much, huh? Well, we went for it. I cut out these sections here. Ooh, I don't know if I've shown you guys this yet. That's an intercooler I got. We'll go over that in 1 second. So here's the side we initially cut, and here's my plan. I was talking to James actually earlier, because my original plan was I really wanted to hug this tube around the strut tower. Now if you look, the radius of the bend is like perfect. So I want to wrap this bend right around here, weld it to the strut tower. And originally I was going to come down and do like a kind of a S thing, but that's actually unnecessary and kind of works against me. Now, what I'm going to do is, you can see right here is a big frame rail that connects to this sill here. So what I'm going to do is just kind of weld a smaller tube there to support this, and then we'll have, let's just see if, here's just a random tube I have kicking around, and then we'll kind of, you know, do something, oh, this is getting awkward, do something like this or whatever, we'll figure it out. But that's what I'm thinking there. And now I have my intercooler. Now this is an awesome little intercooler that I got from James. It's 4.5 inches thick, so it's a fat boy, but it fits really nice on this car. And right now, these end tanks aren't, these are just cut off from where they were. Obviously this goes right into the valve cover, so I'm gonna cut this off, turn it, and probably have my turbo right here, but now that I'm looking at it, this might interfere. So the point of all this, and kind of making a long-winded thing, I want my front to come down and be in front of my intercooler. So that's my goal, is to get it forward or at least flush with the intercooler. So right now I have to measure my second bend to come down, and I don't know if I'm gonna go straight or if I'm gonna go at an angle and just come down. I'm gonna figure that out. I have to head out right, excuse me, I have to head out right now. So I'm gonna sleep on that, but I think I might just, I don't know. I'm gonna take a picture of it and sleep on it. But that's where we're at. Here's my crazy contraption. This is just a long piece of tubing I had, so obviously this is gonna be cut, you know, ultimately somewhere probably around here. But for now, you're just kind of rigging up some ratchet straps just to get an idea. But yeah, I'm digging it. I really like this approach. Kind of reminds me of like a pre-runner rear suspension, you know, the big hoops, or, you know, crazy Jeep stuff does that. So that will have that, which is great, which will totally support this whole strut tower area. And yeah, this is going to be pretty wild. I still retain the firewall somewhat here, and yeah, man, everything's looking awesome. So I'm very happy with how this is turning out. I think that's going to be super rad, having this bend just hug this strut tower. So let me think about how I want to finish it, because this starts to tie into how the look of the car is going to be. Whether I want a big angle coming in or have it come straight down. I mean, I think straight down is kind of, I don't know if that's the right way to do it. It's a little too squarish. I kind of want like a V, so it almost creates like a mouth almost. So it gives it a little character, but that's something I'm gonna have to kind of think about here. So very cool. Very cool. This intercooler is good, rated for quite a bit of horsepower. I don't know what the actual number is, but it's going to, if it actually fits perfectly on this car. If you look at the frame rails here, there's maybe like an inch or two from each end tank. So, I mean, that's going to be pretty gnarly sitting up there. So another option I have is I could also tilt the intercooler back. So a lot of things I have to think about, but we'll get that figured out, and we're just gonna go with a design once we get that all thought up. Well, check it out. Just started pouring rain. So here is my idea for the front tubes. Right up around, and then down, and keep it in plane with the intercooler. And when I leave the intercooler kind of tilted back, kind of give it like a slick profile, you know what I mean? I think it's gonna be mint. I mean, we've got plenty of space behind it. The only where it's hitting right now is just on the little sensor here, but that's really it. It's just no big deal. We still got plenty of clearance from the pulleys and all that, so I think that's what we're gonna do. So the intercooler can actually be tweaked a little bit. It's just kind of propped up there. And that's gonna be my setup. And I'll figure out some more, you know, bracing in front, try to protect the intercooler a little bit more. Things get rowdy when you go drifting, so I want to make this as safe as possible. And as far as safe, I mean as safe for all my turbo parts and everything. So if I do go off track or anything, I don't destroy my car. That's really the idea. But we're gonna do the best we can. And I probably could have gone out a little bit farther, but I don't know. I kind of wanted to keep it a real slim profile, short and stubby as possible. And yeah, we'll figure out, you know, what we want to do for any kind of tubes coming out. But I just want to get these main tubes just all tacked in, get the intercooler kind of tacked in for now, just so we know where everything's gonna live. And that's what we're doing. I'm waiting on some tubing for this size. That should be in this afternoon. But until then, I'm going to get this tacked in place and get everything looking good. So right now I'm just got to plate my strut tower here. I was thinking I might actually make a plate on the top and do like one big plate and reinforce the top of the shock tower too. So we'll see how that looks right now. Well guys, check this out. So I need to reinforce my strut tower mount. So I want to reinforce this top part because this is actually really thin here. I know the shock tower and the shape in general really supports the top plate here. However, I want to beef that up just because we cut a lot of structure out of it, and I want a nice solid area to weld to. So this is what I came up with. So I just freehand plasma cut that. So what we're gonna do is take this and we're going to bend it and wrap it around here and kind of, U it, I guess you would say, around here and weld it all to here. And then we'll just drill the holes from the bottom up, and that's gonna be that. Very easy to do. And I'm going to show you just quickly how we plasma cut that. I did it all freehand. So instead of bending this one first, I'm assuming it's going to fit relatively or reasonably well. So what I do is I just traced out, it's kind of hard to see, traced out the shape here. And now I'm going to simply cut it. Believe it or not, I actually find it easier to freehand with the plasma. With the step off here, it creates a nice gap, and that's really the only thing. And that gap there is really the most important part. You don't want it too far or you don't want it too close. And so, yeah, I've tried using templates like, tracing around a circle like that. And I almost find it's harder. It kind of like hangs up and gets dodgy a little bit. So yeah, check this out. I'm gonna cut this out right now. So as you might be able to see, I clamped a piece of tubing here, and that just makes it easier for me to rest my hand on things. Makes the cut a lot easier and straighter. So check that out, guys. A little rough in some spots, got a little gouge there. All in all, not bad. I'll take my die grinder here, kind of smooth it out. Once it's welded, you'll never be able to see it anyway, so not bad for freehand. That took, well, the camera's recording at 3 minutes, so it only took 3 minutes to cut that. Great. This plasma cutter is just a great thing to have. I'm so excited that I bought it. I'm excited I bought this one. Consumable life is not as great as I thought, but I am cutting a lot of garbage with it. You know, I'm cutting undercoat and rubber and all sorts of crazy stuff. So overall, very happy with it. I'm gonna go clean this up. I'm gonna bend this one up and hopefully it's gonna fit no problem. Well, I spent entirely too much time on these, but they're gonna be awesome. So what I did was I had those shapes, I bent, then I cut reliefs in them, and now what I have to do is just kind of flatten out these little ridges so this sits a little bit lower. I could try to contour it over, but that's just a total pain. So now it's just a matter of getting these ridges down. I'm going to weld this. I'll probably fully seam weld all around. I'll weld here. And what I'll do is I'll grind kind of the weld over so it's nice and smooth. So this will be a nice reinforcement here, and I can weld my tube to this, and anything else that comes in here has a nice surface to fasten to. So it took a lot of time, but that's how it's gonna go. So nice and beefy, just how we like it. Well, check it out, guys. Here's my reinforced strut towers. What I'm going to do now is just take a grinder and just kind of knock the high spots off these welds so the tube will sit on there nice and flush. So I'm going to do that on both sides, but these were a little involved. Not thrilled about how long it took me, but it's fine. They came out pretty good, and they'll certainly be better than what was on there. So we're just going to move forward and get these front tubes all squared away and tacked on, and let's see how this looks. I'm excited. I think it's gonna look pretty slick. Boys, I kicked some butt today. Check it out. Hoo-wee. So you can see I had a little kick in the top one. It connects right almost where the bend starts. Comes right down. Our intercooler is going to sit on kind of an angle there, which is going to be a pretty slick look. I haven't done anything with the bottom yet. I left them a little long. I'll probably do some kind of tube in the bottom, but this is just to get everything back and supported. I'm pretty fired up. I gotta head out of here. I'll be here in the morning. Let the car down, see how it looks. And I have some lighting goodies that I need to go over with you guys so you can see the vision I have, but all in all, I'm getting pretty pumped up on this. I mean, it's looking like how I was planning on it to look, you know what I'm saying? So we have our tubes all bent, right over the shock tower, totally supported, down into the frame rail. Now I do have to triangulate a little bit of tubing here, kind of to support this area, give it a little more beef. But other than that, it's pretty awesome. I'm thinking maybe a piece of clear poly here, but we'll see. We just gotta get this thing kind of back to rolling condition right now, but I'm fired up. I'm really fired up. It's looking awesome. I can't wait to get it on the ground. Like I said, I gotta bail out of here, and I gotta finish up these welds before I can really drop it. So that's tomorrow's goal, but I don't know if I should get the intercooler mounted right now or just let it be, but that's kind of where it's gonna live. So, and all the spacing and everything is pretty legit for it. So I think I'm just gonna keep it kind of zip tied over there as a template, but not do anything crazy quite yet because we're really not at that point. Well guys, check it out. All welded up on the front. And I have some really cool ideas for lighting and other things. But I'm pretty pumped on the way this is coming out right now. It's strong. It's gonna have a real aggressive look to it. and it's coming together better than I had planned, to be honest with you. So this is the stage of the game where we're at. And you might be asking yourselves, Ben, why do you have a intercooler where the radiator is going to go? Because you're not turbocharging it really soon at all. Answer to that question is I need to make some kind of cross brace here and also do something on the bottom. And I want to make sure my intercooler is going to fit before, so it fits after I do all that stuff. So what I'm going to do is just make a couple tabs. These are going to be very simple design. Piece of aluminum angle, going to through bolts, piece of 1/8 inch steel. Weld to the bottom of the tube, weld to the end tank. Done deal for those two. And then I'll probably do 2 more on the bottom or something like that. But for now, I'll just get those 2 in just so we know where the intercooler is gonna be. So for now, I'm gonna get these tabs welded on and make sure. Oh, just to note, you might be wondering why I have the ratchet strap here and all that. So I want to keep it's hard to see here, the intercooler in plane, but set back about 1.5 inches, 1 3/4, so almost the diameter of the tubing. I want this set back. That'll give it a little protection, and as well as be aesthetically, pretty good looking, having it kind of at the same exact angle as the front tubes there. So that's what I'm doing, and I have my little angle cube to make sure everything's level. I leveled it off the beam on the back of the car behind the seats. So what I do is just shim it and all that stuff, make sure I have plenty of clearance between everything back here. But that's what we're gonna do. This will be mounted up in just a minute or 2. Guys, thanks for watching. We really appreciate your support here, and this stuff is gonna be on the next episode. We got a bunch of parts that I want to share with you that are going on to the Z-Kart, and it'll help you, and also kind of helps me envision where this project is going. But as of right now, this sucker is looking wild. It's really taking shape. Thanks again, guys, and stay tuned for the next one.